Indeed, Lyndon Larouche was a 9-time presidential hopeful, although he was convicted of fraud in 1989. It is important to remember that these events happened in America, yet the Laroucheite organization obviously moves beyond the shores of America, in particular into Europe. Another point that Ms. Kronberg has made is that, in fact, her husband was Jewish and was part of an arguably anti-Semitic organization. Mr. Yves Messer, I believe, can give us some insight on both of those aspects, the Laroucheite organization in Europe, as well as some of its political views.
Yeah. I have been a member as well of the Larouche organization, especially in France and in Germany. I'm Jewish, and it is very hard to realize to work for and to admit being an anti-Semite. Not only because I'm a Jew, but also because I was half of my family in the Holocaust in Auschwitz. And Larouche denies the Jews really died, and certainly not with gas chambers, but as slave laborers, as he called them, for his own stupid reasons. So he's a Holocaust denier, and I didn't realize, I didn't know it. So it's very bizarre to realize and understand how it works, but it's part of brainwashing, because you don't really use the word Jews or Zionist anymore, you have other words, and a lot of information is hidden as well. So it's a lot about lies, deception, and that's how it works. It is a cult, there's no question about that. So I think short enough.
Thank you, and particularly in respect of the encoding and the euphemistic language that the Laroucheites use to target Jews is a subject that a number of other people have also had to suffer. I believe that one person who is so central to organizing our forum today, Erica Duggan, lost her son Jeremiah in Wiesbaden in deeply mysterious circumstances. Perhaps you'd like to say a few words?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to the German family who said to me that they had tried so hard to bring the dangers of this organization to the attention of the authorities, and to get more to be known and to be done about protecting young people. And their problem was that they, like many of the families, they're not in a position to speak up publicly, because if they do, their children will not speak to them, and they'll lose contact. And once that thread is broken, they'll be very worried about the future of their child. So the problem is that I have nothing more to lose, because Jeremiah's dead, and I'll never get him back. So I thought to myself, well, I've really had enough of this, because for the last 5 years I've been through the courts, I've done everything that I could, and yet the system has failed me. Why should I go to Germany? It's not really my job to be telling the German authorities this is an anti-Semitic cult. I've lost my son, and that's enough. It's really cruel to expect me to do a battle of that kind. That should be for somebody else. However, I thought, well, I have received so many letters from parents all over the world, and I know there's a group in France that are very, very caught in this trap. They want something to be done, but they seem to be unable to get that achieved, even though in France they have anti-sect laws. So I thought, well, I'll learn more, I'll do it, and this will be done in honor of Jeremiah, because he's lost his life. All his years that he could have been spent doing something useful and valuable have been taken away and have been robbed from him, and we've been robbed from him. So we'll do this, and we'll see what happens. And so we held this forum, and many people came from the States and different countries and had pulled together their information, and we put it forward as we hope to open the door and lift the cover on this organization that has been going on for 30 years. Nobody knows about them very much, and they're dismissed as either a joke or too small. but they are, as far as I'm concerned, dangerous. And the main danger that they present to me is the fact they have managed to intimidate not just their members, but they intimidate the press. And that I know because every time I've been on a television program, they've said, don't mention the word cult. And if you do mention anti-Semitic, well, can you show us? And, well, no, they're very litigious. Well, I don't think we'll do that because, you know, they're very litigious. And so they've managed to close the door on the publicity that should be given. And people want an easy life, so they don't want to take them on. And I'm actually shocked by that because, coming from my background in South Africa, when I was living in the apartheid regime, and so many people said, oh, well, you know, I don't want to speak up, you know, I know that black people are treated badly, but, you know, it's not me, I'm not going to do anything, it's too dangerous. And nobody spoke up. Until there was a change of power, and then everybody spoke up and said, I never believed in it anyway. So it's something really abhorrent to me that people don't speak up when something's wrong. But you see, the problem with this is the people who are in the trap can't speak up, because if they do, they actually harm the one thing they're trying to protect. So they have nobody. They have people like me who've got nothing more to lose because my son is dead, or they have former members. And so it's really because of the support of the former members and the experts, and I mention them as being political analysts. There seems to be a lack of the therapists and the counsellors, who in many cases are happy to take money from the families and yet not present the evidence that they've found to the authorities, which I think they should do. But it's thanks to, you know, the support people we've got here that we can begin from this Berlin forum to lift the lid on what's been going on for far too long and to show the dangers. Thank you.